Hi, my name is Leah Day, and I'm here with my husband Josh, and today he is stitching out straight lines in a Sawtooth star block from the building blocks Quilt-along. Let's get started.
Well, I began by finishing the central star here, and what I did first was begin in the corner and just kind of ditch around, and then I came to this corner right here, and I saw an X because I knew I wasn't going to stitch out all these lines. So I decided to just go here and then up through here and then knock out that area and travel stitch and then come over here like so, and eventually knocked out that block up there.
So the entire star has been outlined, and then you just put 2 lines of quilting down the middle. And that's very minimal quilting. We can flip it over in the back and everybody can kind of see this is pretty minimal quilting, but this is fine. If you're curious about how much you can leave open as far as a big space like this, if you didn't want to put any lines inside of the star, all you need to do is check the rating of your batting. There's going to be a number on the package that says like quilting up to 5 inches. As long as that number is not less than, maybe this looks like about 3 inches to me, as long as your rating is greater than 3 inches, then you're going to be fine to leave this area open or just do minimal quilting like Josh has. Okay, so what's your plan next?
Well, then I broke thread and ditched out the perimeter of the block, and when I looked at this, I saw way too much stitching. The lines are already here, so what I'm going to do is just simply stitch it to stabilize, and I'm going to fill in these outer diamonds and outer square shapes and skip down about 3 lines and then do the middle one like so.
Okay, excellent. Let's get started. So how does quilting on a line, on a straight line, compare now towards almost at the very end of our quilting project compared to the very first block?
It's significantly easier, and what's interesting, I'm going in a direction I'm not comfortable with, and when I started out I could not have been able to do that at all. And now I'm doing some travel stitching here, very slowly.
Excellent.
Get where I need to be. And come down here.
And when we add up all of the just different little things, how to hold the block, how to hold it with your fingers so that you have nice tension over the surface, how to move it, manipulate it, how to get the right angle, and how to stitch on that straight line. All of that, all of those tiny little things that you have to learn and memorize. It's understandable why your first block feels like a struggle or it feels really wobbly, and you see such an improvement just after more practice. This is looking great.
What I like about this, it's a very clear pattern. You're not going to get lost or stitch yourself into a corner and have to do a lot of travel stitching.
So really quickly here, I wanted to draw attention to something I've been seeing from Josh's blocks lately. Partly it's because you're really comfortable with quilting and you've gotten really good at stitching on these straight lines, but I'm seeing some bigger stitches. Basically, like right through here, these stitches were getting much bigger and wider, just a wider stitch length. And remember that this stitch length is entirely controlled by the speed of your hands moving the block and the speed of the needle, the machine, moving up and down. So this is entirely kind of under your control. When I mentioned it to Josh and he kind of slowed down a little, he slowed down his hands but kept the machine running at the same speed, and you can see these stitches are nicely formed and they're a really good size. No stitch length that no number that I would tell you is the right stitch length to go for, and I've never taken a ruler to my quilt to measure it. I'd say if the stitches look wide apart to you, if they're looking kind of chunky is kind of a good word for me to use, chunky on the surface of the quilt, then maybe consciously slow down your hands or speed up your machine. And we've limited the speed of this machine for you, Josh. Do you feel comfortable with the idea of speeding it up and having the full range of speed in the machine now?
Oh, I would be more comfortable on a practice block to do that, because
okay, don't do speed changes on your actual quilt block.
Yeah, because that one you could tell exactly in the block where something drastically changed.
Yeah.
So I would not
You wouldn't
advise mixing it up in the middle of a block.
Yeah, but that advice to consciously slow down your hand,
yes,
that did work.
And when this block is finished, I will crank this machine up and then get used to it.
Yeah, just spend some time practicing.
It's like a treadmill. You're on a treadmill and suddenly you kick it up to high speed, you're going to get knocked off.
Yeah.
If you're not used to it.
Exactly.
So I'm going to travel stitch back down through here and get to the third line down, which is 1, 2, 3, right here. Okay, I'm looking at the block and I want to make things easier for myself by marking the lines where I need to move in. So 1, 2, 3, got my fine line pin. Just mark that right there. A little brighter.
Just a little tick mark just to kind of guide you and let you know exactly when you need to stitch that line. And of course it's a lot easier if you just go on ahead and stitch all of the lines, but I know that minimal quilting might be a lot of your style. You know, if you've kind of gotten enough practice at straight line quilting and you're wanting to be more minimalist with these later blocks, that's perfectly fine. I hope that Josh is showing new ideas, different ways of mixing it up where you don't have to do exactly what's been designed, and it'll speed the process up too. So that's it for this video on stitching straight lines in a Sawtooth star block. So after it was all finished, you changed this design up quite a lot, and you found it a lot faster?
I did, incredibly so. I mean, if you got these spoonflower blocks like I have and you look at this one, it looks pretty daunting. And at my skill level, this easily would have taken me more than an hour, if not maybe 2 hours, and been extremely frustrating and just tedious. So I looked at it and said, how can I save time and make it as simple as possible?
At the same time though, I should encourage you to go on ahead and stitch all of those lines, even if it takes you an hour, because it is really good practice. So it really just depends on what your goal is with quilting. If it's just to finish your blocks quickly and have a beautiful quilt, of course, change it up and stitch what you want. So my name is Leah Day, and this has been a video for the Building Blocks Quilt Along. Today, Josh has stitched out one of these blocks on spoonflower fabric. You can find this printed cheater cloth fabric at spoonflower.com, and join us as we piece and free motion quilt all of these blocks together. Until next time,
let's go quilt.